Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Podcast. I'm Ben, that's Josh, and we are really, it's been a slow week of sports, but we are here. I know we were talking before air. You can see the yawn right there. Both Josh
It's
and I are
starting
just
off already.
I
Not
know.
off to a good start.
Both Josh and I are absolutely kind of exhausted in a sense because, obviously his work, crazy work, which he's talked about many times. And of course, I'm a teacher in May, and if you grew up even with like whether it's private school, public school, does not matter. You know that teachers' lives in May are just so hard, especially, in America, you're finishing school in May. Here we finish school, mid-June, but you're still just like, you're just trying to trug along. I realize I have 20 teaching days left. So I'm counting down the days to where I can have a breather as I switch, which I haven't announced on here yet, Josh. I have not even told you, I don't think. So you're learning about this new.
Okay.
Next year I will be teaching. So this year I taught a lot of different grades, a lot of different subjects, Bible, everything like that. Next year I'll be specifically focused on history. I'll be teaching seventh and eighth grade history. So more modern history to seventh and eighth
Mhm.
graders. It's going to be a fun time or terrible time. I don't know how it's going to be. We're going to wait and see. So that's going to be, kind of fun for me because it's going to be anything better than my team, my new team that I joined this year for football. We are 1-3 to start the year. We have a total of six regular season games, Josh. We have to win the next two to even consider ourselves even close to being into the playoff picture.
Oh boy.
So much fun, so much stress, but I love it so much. How about you?
Yeah. Well, first question, as far as like the history subject
Yeah,
goes, we all know what it's like learning history in America. We get,
yeah,
a lot of the big world events, but a lot of it is
yeah,
focused, on America's history
yeah.
also. How much new stuff did you learn from going over the history books over there?
Yeah.
Was it a lot of like the same events?
So the when I was at the Hungarian school when I taught at last year, obviously I had to do a lot more of like the Hungarian history in that sense. But here, we do use American books, so we use American textbooks, but we are kind of focused, especially in the history department, is we're trying to look at it from a very world view of it, like a not just an American side of it, right? Even though I'm an American, I view it in that history. That's how I studied the history. We look at it as more as like we look at the individual countries that was involved with it. We look at the different sides. Especially like when you're talking about the Industrial Revolution, when things are changing all the fast. We're not just going to look at America. You're going to look at England. You're going to look at Germany. You're going to look at all these different countries. So that's kind of I think where it's different. It's more of a you kind of feel it out more or less. But you're trying not to be biased towards your country, and that could be anyone that's teaching that subject for that matter.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. As far as things over here go, yeah, still got some extra shifts that I've been able to sign up for, so I'm still doing it. But in my free time, I've uh, been able to go out. I bought a weed whacker and a leaf blower, Ben. I finally got that for my house, so now I can start trimming my lawn instead of
it's gonna get
borrowing my dad's
stolen. It's gonna
sometimes.
get stolen, dude. Your trash cans got stolen.
Trash cans got stolen, but these are going to be in a garage which has a lock on it that you
There
have
we
to have a
go.
combination to get in. So unless these guys, can just get lucky
Upgrade.
one day, yeah, yeah, upgrade. Not going to be sitting at the end of my driveway right by the road like the trash cans.
It's true.
Went out and purchased that. Getting fitted for my suit for Taylor and I's wedding, which will be coming up later in the fall, but getting fitted for that, getting nice custom made linen suit since it's going to be at the start of college football season. You know how hot it can be. We're going to be outside for the
Oh, you're
ceremony.
that
And
that guy. Oh my, you're about to upset a lot of humans.
yeah, I know. The reason that I think I'm going to be okay though is because it's not so late into the college football
Yeah,
season that like,
it's not the conference play. It's not
well, no
conference
one's going to
play.
miss Ohio State, Texas, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah. You had to make sure that was off the schedule. You had to make sure
Yeah.
that we are like, listen,
It's like that's a game that I want. That's a
yeah.
game that I want. So,
You can see like my cousin got married on a Michigan State Ohio State game. I was like, oh, that's fine. No one cares about Michigan State Ohio State. No one cares about that game.
yeah. I
Totally
would
fine.
have rather have gotten married a little earlier before the college football season started, but we
I
can't
warn you, it's
always
hot.
get what we want.
I warn you.
And yeah, if it is
I got
hot,
married
then
in
we wouldn't.
August, man. It's hot.
I just wouldn't have done it outside. If we would have had the summer wedding, I would have treated myself and everyone else to some
Whew.
AC somewhere.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
awesome though. That's fun. That's always fun.
it's fun stuff.
Is
Yeah.
it gonna be the NBA? Like, are you gonna have like your teams inside? Like, you can be able to open it up and be like your like you have all your teams? No, okay. Didn't know
Yeah,
if you're gonna
I don't think I'm gonna go with the liner. We'll see. We'll see if that's even an option with
baseline
where I'm going.
podcast, baseline podcast
The baseline
logo. Yeah.
podcast, oh my gosh. The baseline liner, yeah, that'll definitely churn some advertising for us. It'll be the
Just all
biggest
the
spike
funds
in
go there.
viewership we ever get, hopefully. Hey, speaking of viewership and stuff,
Yeah.
Ben, I don't know what it's looking like for the second round of NBA, but the first round of playoffs was definitely a lot more exciting to
Well,
watch
it's what
than
happens when they
what
all
we're
go
seeing
six
right now.
games. It's what happens when they all go 6 games.
Yeah, everything was like a six or
Six,
seven
seven.
game series.
6-7. Sorry. I'm
Gosh,
sorry.
this guy today, man, I don't know what's going on.
I'm
But
losing it, man. It's May.
the Cavs, Pistons, and the Timberwolves Spurs have been carrying the load because the Knicks have already swept the Hawks and the Thunder have already swept the Lakers. Just last night is when the Cavs finally tied it up, and they still have only won
Yeah.
home games. They've lost every single road game, but it took like record-setting fashion to win this one, Ben. I know it
Yeah.
started off hot with James Harden, but things cooled down in the second quarter. But then in the third quarter, there was like a
24-0 run.
25 to 0 run.
Yeah.
It's the second longest, I think, point streak in playoff history. And Donovan Mitchell almost set the record for most points in a half. He had a missed free throw that the guys on TV, I think, ended up jinxing, but they end up getting it done on their court again. Now they get some momentum heading back to Detroit that they hopefully can take a
They're
game over
0 and
there
5 on
because
the road, and they're 6-0 at home in the
exactly
playoffs.
something's got to change. They got to finally win a game at on the road, not at their home court. If they can win at Detroit and then come back home 3-2, that's definitely exciting. But uh, I guess the way the series has gone, we've been seeing the superstar power show up, but those losses, man, it was just like turnovers have been an issue. I know that's something that's cleaned up with at least James Harden these last two games. Is I think game three he might have only had one turnover if I remember right. I'm gonna try to pull up some of the numbers here, but yeah, it's this team just totally looks different when they're at Rocket Mortgage Arena.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, I will say this is also a reminder for me why I watch college basketball, not the NBA. Dude, watching the defense in the playoffs, man, it's basically like no one guards until a guy drives and then there's a block shot. Is that just me, Josh? Like, it doesn't matter what team I watch. It hurts me sometimes when I'm just like, there's no one playing like court to court defense, like
Well, the
locking
other
up.
thing too is you got these characters like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander that just they manipulate that defense to their advantage and
Yeah,
just come up with a flop or they like try to run into you almost and initiate a foul. And it's like
yeah,
it's so hard to play defense in this league right now. That's
exactly.
part of it.
Yeah, and I guess I look at the Cavs and go, look, I don't know. Like, everyone keeps saying the Knicks are going to roll through the Pistons or the Cavs. I think if it's the Pistons, I do think the Knicks pull away. I think that the Cavs can win the series. Like the Cavs have the depth and the pieces to make a run. Um, but I look and I go, you're right. They have to find a way, man. They have to find the way, and we have to find a way to counterbalance what the Pistons are doing, if that makes sense. So I think it's just generally, Harden's doing, what he does, I guess. Mitchell's just been, man, like when he's on, obviously. Jared Allen's been good at times. They just need to the pieces all come together. I think once the pieces all come together, I think we're going to be, we're going to be good. So I don't have any worries going to Detroit. They have to get this one here. I think if you have to go back to Detroit for game seven, I think they lose that game. I said Cavs in six. I still think Cavs in six, but I think you can't let that be, you can't let it go 7 games because then I think you do lose this series.
Yeah, Harden, by the way, seven turnovers in game one. He's had five combined on the last two games that have been at home. Evan Mobley in game four also 17 points, eight rebounds, five blocks. So that's just again, I've been looking for more contributions from him. preferably on the offensive side, but he's been getting it done on the defensive side. That's one of the former defensive players of the year, right? Mobley's won
Yeah.
one, or at
Yep.
least was in consideration
No,
for
he
one.
was
Yeah,
one. Yeah, Mobley won one. Yeah.
yeah. Mitchell, of course, we just talked about the big explosion in game four where he had 43 points. He had 35 points in game three, but he's been scoring a lot even in the games on Detroit. Like I said, I think the biggest thing is just finding collective consistency away from Cleveland. Because even Harden, he had 10 points in game two, but 19 and 24 these last two games. So
Yeah.
yeah, we just need some consistency. And yeah, I do think that we have some depth that we can compete with New York, but New York just looks like, a whole other animal right now. And I know they've played what, the seven seed and then the six
Yeah.
seed, so it's not been exactly the most difficult of roads, but you can only play who's ahead of you. So
Well, yeah, and I think too, like, yeah, it's just going to be one of those interesting series. But I think the West has even been a little more weird. I mean, again, it's been kind of weird because the West, like the Lakers got just, when they got a belt to the, I mean, just belt taken off and
they
slapped
did, and
around. Goodness.
the thing I've been seeing a lot of people discussing is how they're doing it without SGA being like totally dominant night in, night
Yeah.
out. Now I know he had 35 the other day or for game four, but then he's had like 23, 22, and 18 in the other games. I mean, game three, he shot 35%. Uh, the free throws, he actually only had three free throws in game one.
Yeah.
So maybe that has something to do with it. Uh, I was saying before, it's hard to play defense in today's NBA, but they don't seem to let the guys get away with that kind of stuff as much in the playoffs, and that's
Yeah.
been a criticism is like, why don't we get consistent officiating regular season and postseason? But yeah, the Lakers
I think
are
this is the
done
end of
for now.
LeBron. I think it's the end of LeBron in LA, dude.
The end of LeBron. I
We'll
mean,
talk
it's
about that in a sec.
yeah. What's Luka's status? Is he about to be a free
No,
agent?
he's
He's
no,
not
I
on a
think no,
max.
he signed the max, so he's back for another year, just if he's healthy. No, I think the other one's more interesting. I think the Spurs, dude, the Spurs are just choking, man. Like I think they're better than Timberwolves, man. Across the board, they're better. And I don't know. I don't know. Like Wemby can't get thrown out, man. You can't get ejected. Like you have to have composure, man. And I get it. They were rough with him, so I know he's getting frustrated. But you got to be able to handle yourself to where you don't throw an elbow to the dude's face.
Yeah, I mean, that's an advantage that Minnesota, I guess, is trying to take. Is like, okay, yeah, the Spurs won 62 games. We got, our own dogs in the house that we feel good about, like Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards. But if we can take one of their guys out, then that makes a huge difference too in leveling the playing field. And we've seen Minnesota get scrappy in the playoffs before. We've seen them go toe to toe with some of the bigger teams, even if it ended up being like a series that they lost. Like they could rough San Antonio up enough that it could make a difference for when they go on to play, excuse me, OKC if it does go that far. Uh, by the time this episode comes out, I don't think the series will be over. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's been, I think, the more exciting series.
yeah,
Cleveland, it's just like right now, it's still just like, okay, they're only winning on their home court, but at least in Minnesota
yeah,
Spurs, I think there's been a little more back and forth with
yeah.
that.
Speaking of LeBron, I'm curious to hear. And I know we were trying to figure out a topic to talk about the playoffs, just because it's been so boring this round. Um, I, I'm I'm curious for you, man, because I've been watching some ESPN clips, and there are a lot of people like guys that like have hated LeBron, guys that love LeBron, that have said like this would be a great storybook ending. Him coming back for maybe like 1 year. Maybe you have a team option or player option, whatever, and he comes and joins his Cavs team in the offseason, to finish out his career, in Cleveland where it started. Do you feel? I'll give you ask you two questions. Do you feel like this is a possibility? Like that, it seems like the Cavs were open to it. Do you think this is a possibility? And secondly, do you feel like this would be the right move to do for LeBron or for the city or however you view it?
It's always a possibility. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm just still not a fan of it. It's been
yeah,
discussed, I think, at the end of the last couple seasons because he's just been signing like these 1 year deals or like
Yeah.
doing the opt-in with the player option to stay in
Yeah.
LA. But I just don't think that it's a move that helps them win right now. I know he's still, playing well for being as old as he is, but when you watch
He just doesn't
his
look the
tape,
same,
man,
man.
he doesn't look the same. He's really leaning into the not playing on defense and skipping the big games, and it's just
Which he was known for
the
defense throughout his career. He was known for his defense.
he wasn't bad at defense, yeah, but now he's taking defense off. He's not getting back. He's load managing himself on the team's biggest games. It's LeBron's been criticized for load management before, and I know he had the 82 game season a few years ago to try to prove that it's not the case. But when you watch LeBron now and you even see like just the games that he plays and the games that he sits, he's really trying to milk this career and extend it further. And I mean, could you blame him for trying to continue to play in the NBA longer? Maybe not, but I just don't like it. I don't think that it's going to be a style that's going to support Cleveland. I mean, you got to totally change your whole, offensive scheme, defensive scheme when he comes in. You got to prepare to play 4-on-5. You got to prepare for that ISO outside the 3-point line, and then when the shot clock gets to 1 second, you don't know which teammate's going to end up with the ball because he always seems to hot potato it on him, and then there's the shot clock violation, or they got to shoot a contested shot or a shot that they just weren't expecting to get. And
Mhm.
you see the frustration on even some of the guys in LA with him playing like that. And yeah, I don't think so. I know the tour for retirement, being in Cleveland, he would love that PR move for sure. But I think if I'm Cleveland, we're in like a win now window right now when you make a trade for James Harden, and I don't think that bringing LeBron for the retirement tour like what Kobe Bryant got is necessarily a position we're in to be right now. I think that if he did in LA, they wouldn't appreciate it. So he's just kind of stuck right now.
Yeah. No, I get you, man. Again, I'm not opposed to it. Um, I don't think it's the best move, but again, if they do it, I'm not going to be opposed to it. I mean, if you can somehow convince him, like, hey, you're going to be a glorified seventh man off the bench, or like, I mean, like the seventh guy in the team, right? I don't know if LeBron would ever do that. But I also think LeBron has to realize like there's not many options for him. He's gonna have to cut his pay way down. He's gonna have to sign for like, 10, 15 million. And he's gonna have to realize like he can't be the guy anymore in most of these teams. And is he willing to do that? I don't know. My gut tells me he's gonna end up back in LA and he'll just finish out his career in LA. But then there's that part of me that says the Cavs will think is good for the fans, so they'll bring him back. But I don't know how many fans actually want him back. He's said certain things about how he wouldn't want to live in like he would want to live in like Memphis or those kind of places, but like not Cleveland. It's like, dude, you're from Akron, you're from Cleveland, and you're not even going to say that your own state is where you want to live. So I think for that, it's just going to rub people the wrong way. I think it has rubbed people the wrong way. And the fact that he has a school there, which he never visits, like he literally never is there.
Kids
Um,
never pass anyways.
yeah. So for me, it's like you're not helping out the state, so why would you come back? Like I see more Cincinnati Reds and Cleveland Guardians players and Columbus Crew players doing more for the community than LeBron has. So that's just my opinion. And again, would I be cool to see him back in the Cavs uniform one last time? Awesome. You know, if it's a 1 day deal, great, and then you could sign him off for history or whatever. But I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, me neither. I think, like I said, win now window right now, and that's not going to really contribute to that at all.
Yeah.
We do got some news for both of our baseball teams,
Ugh,
and do you want me
gross.
to go ahead and start with
Yeah,
mine since it's
please,
a little
since it's the
more
only thing positive to
exciting?
freaking talk about.
Well, exciting is kind of a loose use of that word, but for you
It involves a
guys,
catcher for crying out loud.
yes, it involves a catcher, it involves a catcher that can't hit, it involves a catcher that's one of the best
Oh,
defenders in this
shocker.
sport. Yes,
Shocking move.
nobody would value a guy like Patrick Bailey more than the Cleveland Indians
And also give
organization.
up a top pick for him. Just
The 29th
wild.
pick. They still have I think a higher pick that they held on to. I think it's 19, but 29th pick is gone. Matt Wilkinson, who was one of the more exciting pitching prospects in the Double A level, also went in the trade. You guys probably know him as Tugboat. He's shoved in the World Baseball Classic for Canada. He only throws about 90 miles an hour, but he's just like a strikeout machine somehow. Just comes up with like this good off-speed stuff and these angles. Like when you throw only that hard, your ceiling in the bigs is probably only like 4 or 5 starter at best.
Yeah.
And Cleveland just seems to, manufacture these guys out of nothing, anyways. So still hate to see him go, but the whole bringing Patrick Bailey over here really confused me. And even as an organization that values defensive catching, you already have Austin Hedges on the team.
Who's
Bo
really
Naylor
good.
was also defensive focused. And you had Cooper Ingle in AAA who was hitting in the 390s.
We
So
wouldn't want
now
to
we
do that
just
though,
got,
remember? Josh, it's not allowed. Remember, you can't hit over 390.
you can't do that, but I'm just saying we could have gone like offensive defensive option, but now we just got Bo Naylor demoted to AAA, and now he's going to be taking time away from Ingold being able to complete his development and get to the big leagues. We got Hedges, who already is one of the better defensive catchers, and then we got Patrick Bailey, who's probably the best. And it's like, how much are you really getting from, how much more are you getting out of Patrick Bailey than you would Hedges? And Hedges is actually hitting the ball all right this year, but Patrick Bailey has the worst OPS out of qualified hitters, Ben. It's like
Dude,
396.
such a
He
guardian move,
has
man. I love it.
he has 12 hits, and their new catcher that the Giants have been playing, Rodriguez, already has 6 hits in the 6 games he's played.
Listen, it can't be as bad as the Reds with Brian Hayes. That man's hitting 130, and for some reason, this man still has a roster
Yeah.
spot and still starting at third. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
saying.
think that when I was reading all those, there's only 2 players with a worse WRC plus, which is like the weighted runs created
Yeah.
stat, and Key Brian Hayes is one of the two that
Yep.
are worse.
Exactly. Somehow that man is starting. They send down Nivole Marte, who's hitting 390 in AAA, but we wouldn't want that, would we? Gosh.
Let me try to make the case for Patrick Bailey that all the diehards have been making because the defense, like when you look at fielding run value, they almost think of it as like Moneyball style. Everybody's looking
Yeah.
for players that can contribute runs, but nobody's looking at the guys that can prevent runs. And
Yeah.
Patrick Bailey, I think since he debuted in 2000, near the end of 2022 or 23, leads all of baseball in StatCast's fielding run value metric. It basically tries to quantify how many runs you're worth, but from the defensive side. So they
Yeah.
have a batting run value, which tries to come up with how many runs you're worth on offense. But when defense with prevention, it's like, okay, how many runs have you,
Yeah.
you know,
Prevented.
effectively contributed as a defender? And Patrick Bailey, far and away, has like 80 some fielding run value. But I was trying to dive into this and say like, okay, how like let's just play along with the nerds with these stats. Patrick Bailey, when you factor in his negative 20 or negative 12 batter run value with his positive fielding run value last year, he comes up to like a net of 12. It's less than guys like Drake Baldwin, but that's one of the better hitters. Shea Langeliers, William Contreras, it's just the defense is I think gets weighted a little too much. Like at a certain point, it's just like your bat is so bad that we just can't justify you playing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Patrick Bailey is a Cleveland Indian now. I don't really like the move. I If a team was to trade for Bailey, I guess if anybody was to do it, it'd be Cleveland. But hearing of Buster Posey, one of the greatest catchers in Giants history. It's been reported by, I believe, Ken Rosenthal that he wanted Bailey out because he wanted a catcher that could work better with the pitching staff. And we also know now with the ABS system that being able to frame pitches isn't as valuable of a skill anymore. And that was something that Bailey also was really good at. So
Hmm.
that's that move. When you heard it, did it make sense to you? Were you surprised? Or I guess that's my reaction. I'm trying to share, I guess,
No,
why Cleveland may have done it. I hate the
yeah,
move personally, but
I don't know. When I saw his career stats, I was like, this is such a Cleveland move. Like, it's just kind of like, I joked with you that it wasn't because he hits like 220, I think 230 career. So it's too high for a Cleveland catcher. But like, it is so ironic how bad Cleveland catchers hit in the big leagues. Like, it is so funny to watch. Like these guys just can't hit. It's like they just forget how to like hit a baseball. It's basically like any Reds leadoff and 9-hole hitter. It's basically what it's like. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's a move that I think they felt they needed to make for some reason defensively. And if that's the case, then you stick with it. I think you gave up too much. I think you could have probably gotten away with not giving up some of the younger guys. But um, that's my thought, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, when you look at F-War, so the way that Fangraphs calculates, wins above replacement, he's been a 3 to 4 win player the last couple of years. But when you look
Yeah,
at B-War, which is Baseball References WAR metric, he's never had a season higher than 2, and they value batting, and Fangraphs values defense a little more.
yeah.
So it's kind of makes it a little murky with looking at that. But yeah, I just don't think that his bat is good enough to just, or his bat is so bad that it doesn't justify the defense that he
Yeah.
brings to the table. And that fielding run value stat that I was telling you, Ben, Austin Hedges
Yeah.
is fourth among catchers in that. So it's like you already had
A
a
top five
solid enough
catcher.
defensive
Yeah.
catcher. And now you demote Bo Naylor and you ruin Cooper Ingles' uh, development. And David Fry is still catching games in Cleveland. So we're just like between AAA and the bigs got this log jam with 5 guys that can catch, and it just doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense. They had this issue with middle infielders just a couple seasons ago, and that's starting to work itself out now. But yeah, I just don't like the move catching wise.
Yeah.
So over in Cincinnati, though, we got some shuffling going around amongst the
Mhm.
pitchers. The losing streak finally ended too, by the way. I
Oh
think
my
it got
goodness.
up to 8 games.
It did.
I'll
Yes.
let you go ahead and talk about all
Yeah.
that, though.
This is the weirdest thing. Josh, you're going to love this. They were in first place about, 2 weeks ago. Within about 10 days, they went from first to last place and were 7 games back of first place. You know how embarrassing that is as a fan to just be like, your team was like so good early in the year, which by the way, part of that is Sal Stewart just like dying off a cliff when it came to like actually being able to bat because he got rookie of the month and then has literally in May done nothing. His average is down to about 245. It was up at 290, 280 for most of the time, down to 245. His OPS dropped from 1,000 down to like 826. It's even getting lower now. So that's been kind of frustrating. But Ellie De La Cruz, by the way, has figured out how to play defense. I don't know if you've noticed. That's scary. A 6'6" shortstop that can play defense like him and he's on pace to hit a 40-40 season, which again, I hate because it means Ellie's just getting more money thrown at him by other teams, which means the Reds will never sign him to a long-term deal. They should have done it when they had the chance. They didn't. Um, but yeah, I mean, the changes really that's going on is Pagan. It was actually interesting. Pagan got hurt the day after he blew a save in Chicago. The Cubs at one point won 3 straight games on walk-off hits, which is just like demoralizing as a team.
Oh yeah.
And one of those games, Pagan gave up the game winner, and people questioned him after the game. The reporters questioned him, fans were questioning him, like, oh, why do we keep leaving him in here? He was not really a true closer, anyways. And then he gets hurt the next game when he's trying to save the game again. And yeah, again, who they're going to throw in there, and there's a lot of different. They're kind of doing a rotation basis right now. Santillan and those guys, but Santillon's been getting roped. Like they had one of the best ERAs in the bullpen. That's been getting elevated. The only bright spot on the pitching staff has been Chase Burns, who's been an absolute just awesome. He's got like a
Yeah.
2.30 ERA. He's been pitching great. Andrew Abbott is finally back to that all-star form as last year. He's down to about a 4.20 ERA. He's getting to where he needs to be. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's it's more than just they're struggling offensively. I mean, they have the worst batting average in baseball. They have the second worst on base percentage, I believe, in baseball. Their slugging's not great. Your number one hitter, which by the way has batted like 180 consecutive games in the leadoff or something like that. I don't remember what it is, but it's some crazy stat. The guy's hitting 185. He's barely got a 500 OPS. Then you have Brian Hayes, who's for some reason still playing like 4 days out of the week. I mean, it's just 4 or 5 days he's starting, which I know Suarez is on the IL, but it's just ridiculous to put him out there. And defensively, he's not even been the same caliber where he was when he's a Gold Glover. So for me, I just that doesn't make sense. And I think Francona just loves sticking with what his guys are. But like the fact that we brought up JJ Bleday and he's not playing more, and the guy is just on a tear. He's been hitting great, plays great defense, great energy. Yeah, I just think there needs to be some changes, but part of it just goes with getting healthy and then hoping things kind of go in that flow.
Cleveland fans will tell you that Tito would be overly loyal to certain guys.
Yeah,
So, yeah, the Key Brian Hayes thing doesn't surprise me. Stephen Vogt might be running into some of that right now, too, because he's got to drop Stephen Kwan out of that leadoff spot. He's just
yeah,
been awful. But even with how cold the Reds have gotten, Ben, at 22 and 19, they'd be in first place in the American League
I
Central.
know. And they're still only a game out of the wild card in the NL Central, the NL race.
Yeah. The American League in general is awful right now.
Atrocious.
Uh, Oakland or Sacramento, Cleveland, Yankees and Rays are the only teams above 500 right now.
It's wild.
It is yeah, and then contrast that to the National League Central where everyone is above 500.
Yep.
And the Cubs, I believe, got the oh, it's the second best they're tied for the second best record in baseball, right? Or third. It's a half game behind Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay
Yeah.
and Atlanta still are slightly better, but yeah, the National League right now is definitely the more entertaining league right now. It's like I said, everyone in the National League is or Central
Yeah.
is above 500. Uh, three of the teams in the West over there are 500 or better. Still in the East, Atlanta's the only team that's above 500 right now, and they're the one that happens to be the best in
Yeah.
baseball. Man, so oh, I was gonna read another stat. Who do you think right now, Ben, has
Yeah.
the worst run differential in all baseball?
I feel like I wish it was the Reds, but it's probably not. Um, I'm gonna say the Mets.
The Mets have a negative 31, so they're up there, but there's still a couple that are worse than them.
It's got to be the Rockies. Got to be up there.
The Rockies are ahead of the Mets in this category. They got a word, or I should say, behind. They got negative
Oh,
35. The Mets got negative 31.
who is
It
it?
is a team out west, though.
It's the Padres, isn't it?
Actually, the Padres are barely positive, but it's the San Francisco Giants, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Negative 42 run
Oh,
differential. They got a
goodness, that
17 and
hurts.
24 record. They've actually been one of the more we've been talking about how bad the Mets and the Phillies have been. The Giants, I think, are one of those teams that we got to start talking about because
Yeah.
they're shelling out all this money to guys like Matt Chapman and Rafael Devers and Willie Adames, and they're just all hitting collectively awful. And Patrick Bailey, I don't think was the guy that they needed to trade and get rid of, but just some of these contracts they got right now is they couldn't even trade them anyway because of how much money they're getting. They're just like some unmovable guys. Like they got to figure out how to hit out there. The pitching hasn't been dominant enough to make up for it. I know Logan Webb's been one of those guys that's been struggling, at least at the start of the year, just running through some of their pitching stats right here. Uh, yeah, Logan Webb right now 2-4 with a 5.06 ERA. That was one of our top 10 pitchers this year, a guy that we have been able to always count on. Maley's got an ERA over 5. Robbie Ray's been okay. He's gotten at 2.76 right now, but
Yeah.
yeah, the Giants right now are just a mess that I think is maybe becoming more to light recently with the Patrick Bailey
Maybe,
trade, but
maybe that's
the
why you
Mets and the
brought
Phillies
maybe
have
that's what happens when you bring a college coach to never coach professionally before.
that's
Just a
the other
thought
thing.
process.
That's the other thing. Yeah, it's just
Just a thought process.
maybe that's why every manager ever has always had some at least MLB minor league experience before.
Exactly.
The Phillies are actually starting to get on a roll ever since they fired Rob Thompson. It's just like before when Joe Girardi was fired for Rob Thompson, and they went on this crazy win streak and they went on the World Series. They are doing just that right now again.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber, I think just hit his 16th homer. Bryce Harper's been on a tear, and Zach Wheeler's back, and maybe a lot of other things are just finally clicking, and it's not related to the manager change at all, but it's just
Yeah.
crazy how that happens. And you feel bad for Rob Thompson because he wasn't a bad manager, and I don't think was the reason that they weren't doing anything. They just said they wanted to go a
Yeah.
different direction. I think some of that was Dombrowski trying to get Alex Cora since he saw that he was
Yeah.
available, and then that fell through. But they're winning now, nevertheless.
Yeah. Agreed. It's that's what baseball does, man. It's just fun, man.
Hmm. It's a shorter show today. I don't
It
think I have
is.
anything else that I want to
No, I
talk
don't
about. Do you?
either. I mean, it was more of a short show. We kind of talked about that just because, again, not too many crazy things going on. So, obviously, we'll
We
have
do
kind of
have to get your brother on to talk World Cup because
we
I know
do.
that's like less than a month away, and I
It
did
is.
see a post that showed the
I
pool
did.
games at least.
Yeah, I did. I
Uh,
did.
did I understand the flags right? Are we facing Australia, China, and France?
I think. I think so. I'll have to check, but I do know that it's something like
I'm
that.
not, yeah, I'm not the greatest with flags, but I thought that that's what it looked like. I could be wrong, but
I can look real quick. I mean, I know it's I can look. I had it saved. Um, if we look here, the opening. Dun, 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 dun. Anyways, I'll have to find it, but um, it is going to be wild. I think a little bit because um, yeah, it's just going to be a great tournament. There's a lot of cool stories. We'll have to talk to Jared and getting him on there because he loves his soccer and he knows that we both
yeah.
suck at it. So
I know the
um,
last time we
yeah,
had him on to talk World Cup,
we
that
did our
was
pre
a
we
very young United States men's
it
team that
was
didn't score a lot, but the defense was awesome.
yeah,
We defeated England once again. Never lost to
yes,
them in a World Cup match or a World War, I think.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we will have him
So
on at some point. So that's for sure going to happen, and it's exciting. So, like I said, it's going to be it was a shorter one today, but I hope that does kind of give you hyped up for the summer of craziness is going to be ahead of us with obviously previewing football at the end of the summer, soccer with the
football
World Cup,
previewing, the World Cup will be
yeah,
happening. We'll have the Stanley Cup. We'll have the
baseball,
NBA Finals and baseball's regular
baseball, yeah.
season.
So a lot of things happening. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. If you've enjoyed this episode of the podcast on YouTube, if you enjoyed especially watching it, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Let us know. And down below in the comments, I want you to answer: does LeBron come home, or does he stay out west? That's the question. Let us know down. Nothing's wrong, but let's be real with everyone, okay? But at the end of the day, it's going to be a fun ride to see what happens with him. And then also, if you love watching or listening, specifically listening, I should say, listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, let us know by sharing it as best you can. And I know there are people out there. I know there's someone at school that he said, I like to listen to it while we do my dishes. And I'm like, great. Josh and I are we're on when someone does their dishes. That's just kind of cool. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and weekend. And until next time, we'll see ya.